Hey fam, this is She-Roze, and welcome back to another episode of Power Talks. Today we're getting to talk to the amazing, the one and only BBoy Wicket. Um, I can't wait for you guys to get to know this man a bit better. He is someone that I consider a very dear friend and an incredible creative collaborator for many, many years now. He's been a member of some of the most legendary b-boy crews in the history of breaking, and has also been part of some of the most iconic battles ever. I would
Ever.
say ever. Truly a renaissance man of the modern era. He is one of the pioneers that has paved the way for b-boys to be able to make full-time careers out of being professional competitors and judges. He is also an MC. He is also a DJ, as well as a beat maker. And now he's even launching his own social entrepreneurial endeavors with programs like the Break Book. So if that's not enough, he's also a professor of breaking at Texas State University. What, right? Like the creds. Can you see the creds list, right? The man is the man is the man. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let Wicket go ahead and introduce himself. So Wick, again, thank you so much for being part of today's conversations. And so if you could please just tell us a little bit about your personal journey, and of all the things that you've done in life, you've got all these layers to you. Walk us through that history and tell us about who are you right now in this moment.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this interview for Power Talks. And wow, what an intro, ladies and gentlemen. That intro, right? First of all, I want to make one thing clear. Did you say Craigslist or Credlist?
I said Craigslist. Craigslist. But hey, like if you've got some stuff on Craigslist too, holler, like
I
there's
mean,
probably some pretty good deals on some equipment.
exactly. Shout out to the millennials or whoever. Anyway, man. So, what was the question again? I think you were just asking what the
Yeah, so tell us about your journey,
oh, my
that
journey.
you're
Okay.
such a multifaceted artist. What led you down the path of your life, and maybe what are some of the things that have really like defined who you are today?
Well, one thing I could tell you is I'm very stubborn and I like to do things on my own, and I realized by doing that, um it's difficult to maintain a balance of executing um whatever I'm trying to do, whether it's an album, whether it's performing with a certain group, whether it's competing, I mean, producing music. It's just I have to understand that I can't do everything on my own.
Mm.
Because I DJ, I know how to DJ, I know how to make beats. I just feel like I love what I do and I just want to be great at everything, but to make sure that everything is executed with perfection, I need help. So, which is why I think my life right now, I'm teaching at Texas State. Um, which is a crazy, crazy opportunity that fell into my lap. Shout out to my homegirl Krista. She's the one who pulled me in, and she told the department, look, you gotta hire my homie Wicket. He
Mm.
lives in Austin. We homies. We perform together. Y'all gotta bring him in. So she brought me in, and 3 semesters later, I'm still here. I'm like, what the? I'm teaching these. I can't believe it. I'm teaching these college. It's like, what? What am I doing? Sometimes I say that
Oh,
in
man,
front of,
you have college
huh?
credit. Yeah, how does that?
Yeah, it's still just unbelievable. But anyway, so I'm just, I'm trying to, what I'm learning right now is I'm trying to stay out of the way of what the universe is giving me.
Mm.
Like at the same time, I'm mixing Art Son's albums. Think I just finished 2 of his albums, mixing. We're in the process of finishing the second one, while I'm still teaching this at the semester at Texas State. Actually, we just finished the semester, but um, I'm just trying to understand that. Okay, this is what the universe is giving me right now. I got this album to mix and the semester, and that's it. Like I don't have time to practice breaking.
Mm.
I don't have time to make beats. I don't have time to travel. This is all that's on my plate, right? That I can handle. So I'm just trying to make sure that I don't get sidetracked and try to make a beat for somebody real quick, because doing something real quick is always going to be like, I'm not really feeling it. Let me try it again, and that just snowballs into a ton of crappy beats. So I'm just trying to make sure that this is what I can handle right now, and that's it until we're done, and until the universe says, okay, here goes something else for you. Then and whatever it is, if it's a competition that I need to train for, learn how to cook, I don't know. So I just try to stay out of the way, and by doing that lately, I'm realizing, okay, this is less overwhelming for me to maintain. I'm not losing weight because I'm not eating because I'm stressed out. I'm not gaining weight because I'm stressed out eating all this ice cream because I got a sugar tooth. So so I'm just trying to stay out of the way and do what I'm supposed to do in the moment.
Okay, all right. So
If that makes sense.
you're saying the secret to becoming the ultimate multifaceted artist, ironically, is stubbornness. Number one, mom, dad, pay attention. Stubbornness, and laser focus, is what I'm hearing, and maybe a little bit of like, don't overthink it.
See, this is where I have a battle with myself because I do overthink it. I
Mm,
have so many ideas, just like yourself, right?
mm,
I have all these ideas that I try to do in a day, in 2 days, in a week. But by writing down all these ideas and trying all these things at once, I realize, okay, this is too much for me to handle right now. Let me scoot this aside here. Let me edit this. This will be next month.
mhm,
This will be 3 months from now. So, by trying all those things, you learn from those mistakes.
mm.
So, I mean, I don't know if this is right for everybody though, Carl. You know what I'm saying? This
True, it's
might just this is how I'm operating. This might not be the way I operate next month. This I'm kind of just like freestyling everything right now. I'm just going by feel.
Mhm.
The structure isn't. I don't know if this is great for Billy down the street. I mean,
Hey, and we're not interviewing Billy right now. We're interviewing Wick.
you know what? I never liked Billy anyway.
Okay, so to your point, like, keep it fluid, keep it authentic, and do what
Yeah,
feels right in the moment. And there's a time for master planning, and then there's a time for freestyling.
absolutely.
And just kind of go with the flow and do what feels right in the moment. Okay, all right. So that's like some real life, like, life truths right there. So of all the production, like, keep in mind again, like, you've been part of some legendary productions. I want to let you speak for yourself. For again, like, for folks that may not necessarily know who B-Boy Wicket is, just there's certain shows that you've been a part of. There's certain celebrity projects that you've been a part of, tours that you've been a part of, competitions that you've been a part of. Um, there's so much in your professional resume as a dancer, but then again also as a musician. So, out of all the work that you've done, um, are there any specific productions that for you, kind of stand out as really unique and really special? That did they teach you something special, or it was just a beautiful memory? Was it a catalyst? What comes to mind?
Wow. I mean, how do I answer that question? Coming from the gut right now, I just feel like Art Son's self-titled album is really sticking out right now, only because I didn't produce any of the music on there,
Mm,
but the way that I'm mixing this album right now has been a challenge, and I've
mhm.
never done it before, to where I've had to replay some music on some of the tracks because of the
It's not
audio. The audio was bad, or
Mhm,
all the drums were on one track, or just there's too much static. There's hiss and
mhm.
so it's like, how do I recreate this without losing that original feel that he was writing to, and not upset the producer? So it's been a challenge because I've never had to do this before. All I've had to do is just all right, I'll just mix these songs down, master them. Here you go. Here's your edits. Here's your show edits. But
Mm,
this self-titled album has been a challenge. I'm like, how do I do this without losing that essence of what made Arton write to this in the first place? And not go, because I could easily go left and be like, nah, this sounds good. This different kick sound,
mm,
but so I've been battling myself like, you can't do that. You just here to patch and move on. That's it. So this is teaching me patience.
mm,
Out of all the other projects that I've been a part of, one of them is the professor from N1. He
mhm,
loved my beats. He's like, yo, these beats are perfect for my videos, and I would just send him beats, easy. Hey, he would hit me, Wicked, send me some beats like this. Made them, sent them off. It was easy, but this particular project is really like, okay, I can't send this off today, tomorrow. I got to really sit with it. Luckily, I live in Austin, right? So Texas State is about 45 minutes away from me. So
mm.
every time I drive down there, I'm listening to the mixes in the ride. I'm like, nah, this ain't it. I ain't gonna send it to him. I know I sent him a text this morning say, yo, I'm gonna send you an edit today, but he ain't gonna get this today because it's not sounding right in the car. And so it's just really being being part of the process and not disturbing the development of or the creation of how it began in the first place. And that's just, I don't know if you could teach that to somebody, because I'm learning a lot of things about myself, like, oh damn, I need to chill with, because I have access to these sounds
Mm,
and I know how to cut DJing and all that. It doesn't mean that every song needs that, or this song doesn't need all this bass.
mm.
So it's yeah. So I would say this self-titled album is really kicking my ass right now. So it's a
Well, don't worry because we have another project lined up right after that. So, but no, but what I will say is like having worked with you a lot over the years on multiple albums, what I would say is in observation, um, and maybe this is one of the reasons why you're so multifaceted is because the truth is that you really do immerse yourself fully into every single project that you're in, you know? And it's funny that you say that this is the most challenging project because the truth is that I'm pretty sure that I've worked on other projects with you over the last years where you're like, this I've never done before. Like this is challenging me in different ways, you know? And um, I think that that says a lot because not everyone can embrace challenge the way that I see that you do. Like you're someone that really seems to enjoy it because you really take it on as a learning experience and not just from a skills perspective, but it seems like you also really enjoy learning about yourself and the way that you show up in the process, you know, and to your point, like there's like a lot of self-awareness in there that you're like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, wait a minute. No, I should rethink that right now. Right. But
right,
the other thing is that you're also highly collaborative and highly communicative, right? Like, because, you know, when you do hear things like you do talk about, hey, I had this idea, you know, what do you think,
right,
right? And then like it's funny because like, you know, you're talking about, oh yeah, he's probably not going to get this turnaround time like I thought. But the reality is like there's also those moments where, you know, we'll be in the car, right, listening to a mix that you just sent us. And by the time we got to our destination, we got another cut of that mix, right? And by the time we're on our way back home, like this just happened. I was like, wait, we just got another cut of it. I'm like, all right, those are the moments that I know that it's what's cool is like you're one of those people who will collaborate with others in a way that like even if you're not in the same city, there's still almost this sense of like being in the studio with you, you know, and that's just on the music side of things, right? I know people that have taken your classes that I think what I've always heard people really appreciate is um, like the really welcoming vibe that you kind of create, this like very like safe space kind of sense that everyone
hmm,
gets, but
right,
also like this sense that like you're very present for them that day in that moment, right? And it's maybe that's part of your gift too, is that you can kind of flip channels really quickly, and like whatever channel you're tuned into, you're able to really dial in on just what you're focused on in that moment, whether that's a song or a student in that moment, right? Even if
Wow.
there's like 50 other students in the room,
Right.
for that 30 seconds, that 1 minute, that 10 minutes, you're like, I'm totally focused on this person right now.
Yeah.
Like that ability to block out the rest of the noise, which maybe, people call it stubbornness, but like, maybe stubborn isn't really like the right word. It starts that way
Right.
as we grow up though, maybe.
Maybe it's not stubbornness. Maybe it's I think what I'm realizing from hearing you talk about this right now is because I'm a b-boy first, I'm a
Hmm.
breaker first, and when I have these projects, right, on my plate, I got Art Son's album and I got Texas State. I can't break, I can't battle. So I think my energy shifts towards, damn, why can't I get this mix right? That's my battle right there.
Hmm.
So every time I take these L's and like go listen in the car, hear y'all's feedback, I'm like, damn, what the hell how did I miss that? You know? It's just I think about, okay, how did I not hear that? Oh, it's because of this. Oh, because the output was set to 5 and 6 when it should have been 1 and 2. Just little things like that I am really very, I be power tripping over. Like, how did I miss that little detail? And it's the same thing when I teach class. It's like, how do you not see where your hands are? You're watching the video. I told you to film yourself. This is what you look like. Because if I keep I tell my students every time, I say, hey, now that I've taught you this sequence, I want you to do it on your own. Film yourself and watch it, because I could tell you 80 times and you might not even understand what the hell I'm talking about until you see it.
Hmm.
So, it's the little details that I have to pay attention to for everything. Otherwise, I'll be a hot mess and we'll both be a hot mess.
Well, I knew that the breaking was going to come into it at some point, right? Like, there's so many things that we learn from breaking that, kind of falls through our lives. But it's
Yeah.
funny. I remember back in the day when I was a competitive equestrian. This is like, 80s, 90s, little kid, little tiny kid. But yeah, like my dad got a camcorder when we were little, and he would film or he would make my mom film every single day that
Oh,
we were
that's dope.
practice. And every single night we would come home and watch the tapes. Every single weekend we go ride and then we come home, we watch the tapes. And kind of to your point, not for nothing, but like me and my sister were always the two to beat in any competition that we went
Hey,
to. But it was like,
I
to your
believe it.
point, the focal point. We had certain days that we did certain kinds of trainings, and I come from a military dad, right? So everything was like, you know,
You can't mess around.
and it was hard training, but it was good training. Like to your point, I realize now that so many of those things have paid off in like the way that like I approach life,
Right.
and everything else. So speaking of breaking, let's talk a little bit about the Olympics, and what does it mean for someone. And I think it's probably going to be good for folks to hear a little bit about like the crews that you've been a part of and what you've done in the world of breaking, because um, breaking is now going to be on the Olympic stage this summer,
Right.
uh, and that's phenomenal in so many different ways. To see it get to that point, not only from a culture standpoint, an athletic standpoint, a career standpoint. Um, but your personal journey has paved the way for that. Um, and it's also one of the reasons why you have been one of the coaches for the Team USA breaking crew. So let's talk a little bit about that, right? Like it's coming up around the corner, man. How you feeling?
I mean, we got April, May, June, July. We got 4 months.
Hmm.
And what's really crazy is, um, I mean, first of all, I'm the team advisor for Team USA. Uh, Bonita is the head coach. Kid Rainin is the assistant head coach, and Flo is the health and education area. But I mean, it's
Oh
been
yeah. cool fancy titles, right? Like very
What's
like
that?
I said, all y'all got cool fancy titles, very specific. So yeah, give us a little bit on that, right? Like how is that broken down? Like head coach versus advisor versus, I mean, obviously the health and nutrition is clear and
Right.
obvious, right? But like,
Yeah.
the way that they broke you guys out for different reasons is because of particular skill sets that y'all bring to it, right? So,
Well, yeah. It really came down to who can provide what the athletes need. And
mhm,
I was at a point in my life where I told them, hey, I can't give y'all 100%. I'm gonna have to step down because I need to do my thing. I need to get my life together. You know,
mm.
I'm almost 50. Close to 50, and I can't rely on event to event and wait for an email and wait
Yeah,
for you.
you're jumping. I gotta just say this. You're jumping 5 years ahead right now, right? Because like I know that you're like a year older than me, so I know you're like a solid 45, right? I'm like, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like don't, like I'm only a year behind you. Like, don't be telling me that we're approaching 50 just yet. Like, shh.
No, I think well, that's how I hype myself up to
Okay,
get shit done is
all right.
because I mean I'll be 46 this year,
Mm,
but I look at it like I'm about to be 50. I can't be waiting to judge an event, to
mm,
teach this workshop. I gotta get my life together. So I told them that, and they were gracious enough to say, hey, well, what if you just play the advisor role and just advise the athletes? And
mhm,
so far, that's been great because I don't have to be so hands on. I could reach out to all the
mhm,
breakers and say, hey, watch your form here. Hey, let's watch this battle. This is why this happened. Things like that, and I could
mhm,
still go and have my Texas State or whatever I'm doing at the moment, right? So I mean, I can't really speak for Flo, Bonita, and Rainen because they pretty much they're on that ship, the
mhm.
Breaking for Gold USA and Team USA with Whitney and everybody in Colorado. It's a different ship. I'm like still on land, just like
Okay.
hey, so I'm sending out these messages. That's where I stand, and but to talk about breaking being in the Olympics, I think it's a great opportunity for us as not only as breakers but hip hop in general. I mean, we get to have breakers on the same level as LeBron James, Steph Curry, all the gymnasts, all the Olympic athletes. We get to be part of that and finally showcase our lifestyles. It wasn't just in the 80s. We don't do this on cardboard no more. That's what everybody thinks. When I tell people, or whether if they come up to me, hey, so we heard breaking is in the Olympics, and they do a wave. I'm like, nah, that's not that's not what we do. So what's it gonna be like? You guys gonna have cardboard? Nah, no. I mean, so not only is it a great opportunity for us as breakers and a culture to shine, but it's also great to be able to educate the world, and that now we've evolved. You guys just haven't seen it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
it is super exciting, and I'd like to think, you know, that the momentum continues and that opportunities continue to show up in this, right? Because it's not, as we said before, it's not even just the opportunities for people that are pursuing it as um, the competitors, right? As the
Right.
athletes themselves, but you know, taking it above and beyond that to, to your point, what are you doing after this?
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. This is not only a great opportunity for us to shine as a culture and as individuals, athletes, entrepreneurs, motivators, and inspirations. It's like okay, what's gonna happen after the Olympics, y'all? We can't just be like, okay, we just can't wait. We got to take the initiative and make things happen. We got to create the lane for ourselves, for whoever's going to follow us or take the torch and be better. We got to set that lane for the next person in line because we can't wait. I used to just wait for the phone call to judge to go here to go there and I realized like nah, I'm not waiting for nobody. I'm creating this lane. I'm producing this. I'm doing that. I'm organizing this
Mhm.
and along the way you learn things that you shouldn't have done or mistakes here and there but that's how life is. You just got to see what works and what doesn't and do better next time and maybe get some help.
Hey, go figure.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, like let's talk about, some of the lanes. And by the way, it kind of feels more like a freeway because I feel like there's multiple lanes that you're
Oh, well,
hiking in, right?
yeah.
So
Free,
let's talk a little bit
freeways, detours. Oh,
about detours.
we hit the grass. Let's get back on.
Yeah, there's a local street version, and then
Oh,
there's like the highway version of that, all that. So,
yeah.
but yeah, so I know that you've recently launched a program. I want to say in like the last year or so,
Hmm.
called the Break Book, right? So
Right.
I think it'd be great to hear a little bit about that. And if I'm not mistaken, that program is potentially also spinning off into its own nonprofit, if I'm not mistaken, right? So do you want to maybe share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the break book was created. Myself, Carl Paoli, and Flowmaster, and even Bonita helped out with it, and they let me run with it and do my own thing when they were busy with the app with Team USA. I was working with people that just started, or even vets that needed help with fixing their form, things
Mm,
like that. So um, the break book has been a great vehicle for not only for people that want to understand how to compete, but also for me as a coach, because I've never done this before. I didn't go to school for this. We, like I said, we just trying to see what works and what
mm,
doesn't. So within the last 2 years, I've learned a lot and understood how to not create a program for one person, but for everyone. It could be the same. We might have the same goal for
mhm.
person A to person M and O, everybody, right? But everyone has a different lifestyle. Everyone has a different body type. Everyone has they might have injuries from before, so it's like,
Yeah.
how can I apply this same program to this person? It's still the same thing. We just got to make some adjustments to make it work for them.
Mhm.
And I think the break book, what's crazy is the break book program, I think, catapulted me into Texas State.
Mm. Boom. See, like what
Yeah.
happens when you create your own lane? Like opportunity.
Yeah, because after those first 2 years, Krista hit me up and was like, "Hey, so I've been trying to reach you, and would you be willing to come down to Texas State and teach hip hop?" And I was like, "Teach hip hop? What you mean teach hip hop?" "Well, we want you to teach breaking to our kids." And I was like, "Well, I'm looking at my whiteboards with all the breakbook stuff and all the formula. I'm like, damn, I think I am ready for it. Yeah, let's do it. When y'all want me out? Can you come down tomorrow? Oh, damn. All right, let's go. They threw me in the deep end. And I was like, all right, this is it. This all me. 40 kids.
Look
and
at it,
and
TA.
so I'm like, okay, it got really real. And
Mm,
what gave me the motivation to do this was the breakbook program. I just had to split it up into 2 days and to kind of make it less. The breakbook program was for somebody that can train every day
mhm.
or 4 times a week, 3 times a week. With Texas State, I only got them twice a week, and for almost 2 hours each day. So it was really, how can I
Mm,
truncate everything into this schedule, into Texas State schedule, so the students don't get overwhelmed with their other classes. Because that's one thing I forgot. I was like, oh, y'all got other classes. That's why y'all tired.
so you're
You know?
saying you didn't give him a homework grade?
Oh, I no, I gave them all kinds of stuff to do.
I was pretty sure.
I had to trim it all down. Chris was like, "Yeah, Wiki, you might need to take this out, this out. Definitely take this. They can't, because I started to realize they can't learn this in one semester.
This is true.
It's these kids, they're like, their bodies are not conditioned for this.
Mhm,
So I have to realize, how can I condition them and teach them at the same time?
mhm,
I'm in my third semester now, and I think I finally got it.
mm.
So it took semester 1 and 2 to kind of just tinker with things here and there. Maybe this flare was too much.
Yeah, I never got flares.
Oh yeah. I done lost all mine. So they're on a SAG strike right now. So, but yeah. So the breakbook program really molded me into the teacher I am today. Without the break book program, I probably wouldn't. It probably would have been a one and done. We good, Wick. Appreciate you.
But I mean, I look, I think that definitely it's great that you had that. Well, actually, what I think is really cool about it is that it wasn't necessarily the other way around. Because for some people, it might have been the other way around. Like, hey, somebody asked me to do something, and then I realized I could take that one thing and then create a program out of it. Like, what I like about the fact that the break book came first is that ultimately it's all like self-sourced,
Right.
and self-motivated, right? So, but again, obviously, it also really speaks to the fact that what you created, um, you know, is of interest and of value and is working, right? Like if your goal was to create a launch pad, it definitely did do that, and in a way that you didn't necessarily ever anticipate. And I think what's interesting for us too is that like we're in an era where like man, like now they're starting to teach hip hop classes in college, like not even just breaking, but like Medusa teaches, you know, uh, a rhyming class out here in
Oh,
LA, like so
okay.
like she teaches like the art of writing raps, right?
That's
So
beautiful. That is beautiful.
like I that is a and I want to actually like take the time to be able to like try to identify what are all the programs that are happening at a national level, just to kind of be able to me like I'll start to nerd out on that, right? Just like looking at like how quickly this is growing and spreading, because those are the things that really light me up. So going back to the Olympics real quick, you also besides just working with Team USA, you actually have been a international competitor for the grand majority of your life, right? You know these international players inside and out.
Right.
So, who do you think we might see on that podium at the Olympics, or who are you hoping to see on that podium?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
It is.
I mean, you definitely gonna have USA in there. You definitely.
We better see Team USA in there.
I'm saying. I'm saying. Or else we gonna have a talk with somebody. But
Okay.
I mean, Japan is coming with it.
Mhm.
Canada is coming with it.
Go Canada.
Uh, France is coming with it. E- e- Every the Netherlands. I mean, it's
It's hot out there.
the skill level is crazy right
Mhm.
now. It's you got the elite up there trying to secure a spot because I think there's only one that left
Mm.
to secure a spot. Um, so I mean, it really comes down to who has their day because um, it's a crazy process how to get there in the first place. You have to
Mhm.
battle some not only the best in the world, but there's a lot of rounds that you have to really prepare. And if you're not in tip top shape, if you're
Mhm.
not training for broke right now, it's a wrap. Don't even so you got the best of the best in this competition in the Olympics.
Mhm.
I mean, I haven't seen anything like it. And the preparation that I've seen from Victor and from all of Team USA is really what an opportunity for us, right? Shout out to Steve Graham,
Mm.
and he's letting the our competitors, our breakers, train at his house in his studio, and he's got the facility
Mm.
to help us prepare, to take home that hardware. And I'm sure everyone else all over the world is doing the same thing. And it really just comes down to, okay, who's going to execute? Who's going to have their day? Because this is what we do. This is what we do. We battle. We battle every event. We there's always there's 3-4 competitions on the same day. That happens all over the world. So it just really comes down to who executes when them bright lights hit your face and that red light on the camera lights up, because this is it. This is the Olympics. This is the biggest stage in the world. So it really comes down to who can really stay laser focused, just like you said.
Mm.
Because once them lights hit, if you ain't mentally prepared first, you out of there.
Well, and like, and I think that like one of the it's such a mental game, right? And keep in mind, like at least like for me, I was never someone that really ever aspired to be a competitive dancer at all. But like you've done it all. You've done um street style, literally on the pavement, you know, in the heat of the moment battles in the club. You've done all kinds of films. You've done all kinds of music videos. Again, you've actually been on some of those really big competitive stages, but you've also done, um, theater work as a dancer
Right.
as well. So, how would you describe that ability or what it takes to be able to like it? What would you say about like breaking in the competitive world the way that stage is at the Olympics versus like some of those other scenarios.
Ah,
Um, how would you describe that?
that's a great question. That's a really great question. Only because, so for the competitive world, you have to be versatile. You got to show all the skills. You can't just have footwork. You can't just have power. You can't. You got to have it all.
Mhm.
Because there's a list that you got to hit. You got to hit everything on this list.
You gotta hit everything on this list, but somehow still exude passion and authenticity, right?
Now,
That's the
how
hard part.
exactly? So you got to hit everything on this list, and then you got to make these judges write those notes that you just said. Okay,
Mhm,
yeah, funky flavor, whatever. Anything that stood out, you need to hit that list and make me write more notes about you. That's what's
mhm,
gonna make you stand up for me. Now, when it comes down to theater or stage, flashy stuff. Nobody
mhm,
want to see no damn footwork. They don't, if I'm at a concert in the nosebleeds, I can't see you doing no footwork. Get out of here with that. What is that? It's just like clutter. Get out of. They need to see the big moves, the big flashy moves. They need to see
mhm.
flares. They need to see head spins, air flares, flips, things
Yeah.
like that.
Catch me with 2, 3 seconds. That's all you got right now.
Yeah, it's like you can't show anybody everybody you got detail and that you flavor like this. It doesn't work in that type of stage. When it comes down to music videos, same thing.
Mhm,
They need to see the flash. They need to see them head spins, all the big moves. Um, because it really comes down to who's editing the video anyway. They might not even pick the best part. Like I
mm,
used to go into doing music videos, trying to do my signatures, and it would never make the video. The only thing that made the video was like half a second of my head spin.
mhm,
So it wasn't until we did You Got Served, and after that film came out, we saw it in the theater, and we could not believe that they didn't chop up our sets like they usually do in the music videos. They left our entire set in there. And we were just like, yo, this is unheard of. Like how did they just left our entire set in there. They let us shine.
mm.
So shout out to Dave Scott, to B2K, to oh my goodness, he's going Billy Polina. I mean, these people, they decided, no, we need to let these dancers shine. And I tell you something really funny.
Mm,
I went to this audition for You Got Served. Hundreds of dancers, right?
mm,
Hundreds. And we finally get called up. Our group gets called up, and I'm in there with crumbs, remind everybody,
mm.
and they picked everybody except me.
What?
Yeah, everybody got picked. Even the ones that weren't as great got picked. I didn't get picked. And I'm sitting there like, everyone's excited. They're telling them, okay, this is the rehearsal, this is the location. I'm like, yo, and I'm sitting there like, how, I don't what they asked for straight up breaking, and what did I give them? I went up in there when it was time for me to do my solo, straight up footwork, had the detail. I was styling on everybody.
Mm,
Didn't do one power move.
okay.
And it wasn't until it wasn't until after I had a show that night with the Groovaloos after the
Mhm.
audition, and I was so upset. I was in my feels because I didn't get picked. We were in this battle scene for the Groovaloos, and I think when when I did my solo in the battle, I went longer than I was supposed to. The next number was about to start, and I was like, "Nah, you getting this, do not you getting all of this." I stayed out there. I was doing all kinds of power.
All of
Just
it.
I was just like unleashing. The stage went dark. The music the music stopped. I was still spinning.
That's so poetic.
I was like, and then after the show was done, uh Dunak came up to me. He said, "Hey man, this guy over there in the sport coat want to talk to you." I was like, "Who?" Man, forget. I was about to leave. I was going home. I was upset,
Hmm.
and so I came up to him and he introduced himself. His name. He said, "Hey, my name is Billy. Um, I really love what you did up there tonight. You look great. I want you to be in my movie." And I was like, "Psh, what movie?" And he goes, "You got served. Come to the set tomorrow. I want you in the movie." I said, "Man, I auditioned for y'all. Y'all didn't pick me." He said, "Don't worry about it. I love what you did. Come to the set tomorrow. Here's the address."
Wow.
And that's how I got. So I showed up to the set, and Dave Scott was like, "Man, how come you didn't do that at the audition?" And I was like,
Like, no.
lesson learned. Like, once you have these auditions for something, just anybody out there watching, y'all got a movie audition, any audition for video commercials, give them the big shit. Give them
Even
the power. Give them that flashy, all that. Don't give them no footwork unless they specifically ask. I need you to do a 6-step. I need to see a bait. Nah, if not, if they look for breaking, y'all need to do the big moves. Forget everything else.
word. All right. All right. All right. Fair point. So let's switch gears a little bit again and talk about music. And again, in music, you actually wear multiple hats, right? Um, I feel like I want to say, look, I don't actually, I'm not even going to say it because you're a DJ, you're a beat maker, you're also just like a sound engineer in general. As you mentioned, you do everything from like mixing to mastering, all of that. But you're also an MC, right? You
Eh.
also have got your own tracks, and you definitely rock the mic yourself, right? So um, uh, with all the things that you do, is there anyone that you feel like is like your greatest favorite out of those expressions, right? Like, do you have like, is it just like, again, is it just like whatever I'm feeling in the moment? Like, um, what kind of gets you worked up the most out of all of those different ways of expressing yourself in your music?
I think what really, man, you got all these loaded
I
questions
have all
today.
kinds of tough questions. I think
Uh,
I'm not gonna go easy on a professor.
I would say, honestly, I would say whenever I get to DJ at an event, or if I could do cuts for any of y'all songs, that really brings me joy because I first started out as a DJ before I
Mhm,
was breaking, before I started rhyming. Um, my friend in middle school, we always used to go to his house every day after school. We would buy records on the way, and we would get on the turntables and make mixes and try to do scratches like Q-Bert and them because that's what we were around in the Bay Area in San Francisco, Daly City. That's what we saw. And without his older brother knowing, we did that. We were doing that for almost a year before they found out. So when they found out, they took the needles and hid them. So the next time we went there to make mixes or to scratch, we couldn't find the needles. We looked all over the house for a couple hours. It was just like this is it. I can't believe this. What the hell we gonna do now?
mm.
And he was like, "You want to start breakdancing?" So that's how I started breaking, and that's how I started to start writing rhymes because on a radio station, KMEL 106.1 KMEL, the DJ Evan Luck, he would have this thing called the Battle of the Rappers at 7:30 every day.
Mm.
So it's like I can't DJ no more, so I might as well start breaking, and I might just try to start rapping. but DJing is always my first love. So whenever I get to spin at an event for any battles, any competitions, I mean that just brings
Mm,
me back to why I fell in love with hip hop in the first place. So I would have to say over everything it'd be DJing.
word. All right.
Yeah.
That is like a really that's a new insight for me. It's funny because I kind of had a gut check on. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to say that because, I don't like being wrong. But anyway, that being said,
No, but
again,
I'd like to add something on that too. I mean, because I I know how to spin, I know how to make mixes. Because I started DJing in the early '90s. I think uh, that really helped create who I am as a dancer
hmm,
because I can hear what the hi hat is doing and I can hear what the bass line is doing. I could slow down with this rhythm. I could change my flow to this rhythm because being a DJ, you have to create this development for your ear to hear things, to separate things, to blend in songs with all these things going on at once.
think about
And
transitions.
all yeah, exactly. So I think that really helped me understand how to switch gears when I'm breaking. Oh, I
Mm,
gotta slow down because of this. Oh, I gotta speed up because the hi hat sped up. Or I gotta do this. It's just and when I try to teach that to anyone, it's hard for them to understand there's layers to a song. They hear it as one piece.
mm.
And until I break it down for them, then they're like, dude, the break book is sick.
Ah, that's awesome. So, so Wick, so I mean, and this might be a good lead into the next question that our folks at Power Street Theater always like to ask. What makes you feel the most powerful? When do you feel the most powerful?
Dang, the most powerful.
Dun, dun, dun!
The most powerful, I'm not gonna lie. When I hit them head spins and the drill
Yeah.
just stays there like this, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. Let me just sit here for a little second. Let me just absorb this energy from everybody. Cause at that point, everyone's just like, ah, and it's something about head spins that that can give you this type of energy. And not necessarily make you feel powerful, but just like you feel like a superhero or something. Just like I don't even know how to explain it.
Like you're defying gravity,
Even more than that,
like you're lost in time, like you're floating.
like you're floating. I mean, it's like a dream. And you know what's crazy? Before I had head spins, this was before I had head spins. I would have dreams about doing head spins and just staying there like an ice skater and just drilling. This is before I even started practicing. This is just because I saw it and I was like, yo, that's what I want to learn. So by the time I was learning these head spins and I kept having these dreams, I was like, you know what? This dream might come true.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It did. And when I finally got my head spins, I'm like, yo, this is exactly how it felt in my dream. I feel like I am floating. I feel like I'm like not human. Just being in that, I don't know. It's just something that you can't explain unless you could do it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the only thing I could say that makes me feel powerful. Um,
I love that. But I bet you what you didn't dream about was the bump and the flaking that comes.
oh, well, this, right? That my my head was already pointy to begin with, so I had a hard time finding out how to balance on my head because
Mm,
my flat spot on my head is in the front. So if I'm on the middle of my head, I'm wobbling. I'm like all over
mm,
the place, right? But it wasn't. You know what? I don't even. Anyway, so I used to practice with a helmet,
mhm,
right? Back in the day, in the early '90s, we all would love to practice with a helmet because that's what Air Force. We were inspired by them. They would always wear helmets, so we wore helmets, and to spin in a helmet, it felt like the ultimate cheat code
mm.
because it wasn't painful. You were comfortable and you were balanced because the helmet was flat.
Mm.
It wasn't until maybe 4 years later I got hired to do shows with Mr. Wiggles and Flo and to do Manhattan in Vegas in front of thousands of people every night. Wiggles came up to me and said, "Hey man, just FYI, you can't wear this in the show. you you look like a football player out there. You can't wear this in the show." And I looked at Flo like, he was like, Flo was like, "You better get your shit."
Uh,
So, and it was really hard for me to do head spins in the show. I would wobble all over the place. I would stop too fast. I would have to turn my head spins into another move. Like I would go into footwork, into windmills, and after the show, Wigs would be like, "Yo, what's Wicked? What's going? You better learn these head spins. We might have to replace you." So
dang.
every day, even during the show, after our number, I would be on the side of the stage, right next to the band, practicing my head spins because
Mm,
I didn't want to get replaced. That's how bad I wanted it.
mm,
I took it like another battle because during this show, when I signed the contract, we were there for a year. We couldn't go anywhere. We had to stay in Vegas. We couldn't go to any competitions. So I felt like, okay, this is my battle right
mm.
now. This is, I'm gonna take these L's until I win. So it wasn't until like 6 months into the show, I was like, okay, I think I could coast now, y'all. Look, because after I had to take the helmet off, I could not find the spot.
Mm.
So yeah, it was difficult. It was like if you used to training wheels and you didn't want to give the training wheels.
Yeah. I mean, I never had head spins anywhere near like you did. I only really got drills, but like I remember trying with helmets. And the weird thing for me is that I could never find my balance
Oh,
body wise in the helmet,
are you
right?
serious?
Yeah. So there's something about the shape of my head and just like my body build that just didn't necessarily feel comfortable in the helmet. So
Interesting.
helmet
Well,
helmet head spins was never really an option.
we're gonna have to work on that, Carla.
That's fine. That's fine. We're good now. I'm gonna be turning 45 this year.
Nah,
You
we're
know,
gonna have to work on that.
I'll stop there. All right. So that being said, again, you've done so many things in your career, but where can folks tap in right now? And is there anything that you're working on that you want to talk about and share, like for folks to check out and support?
Well, if you want to get a hold of me, I'm easy to get a hold of. I'm hit me on IG at BBoy Wicket, BBoy Wicket with a T at the end because there is another B-Boy Wicked, the
Mm,
original B-Boy Wicket from Chicago Phase 2. He's my homie. Love him to death. And it's the funniest thing because people will DM me and try to fly me out to their events, but they're actually trying to hire Wicked from Chicago, the real B-Boy Wicked. And I'm like, should I accept? It's an ongoing thing because they hit him as well, thinking it's
I
me,
figured. I figured.
but yeah, hit me on IG at BBoy Wicket. Things I got going on right now, really just trying to educate the universities about breaking, about our lifestyles as hip hop motivators, and to show the students that this is not just for men. This is for women too,
Mm,
all sizes, ages, height, whatever it is, whatever you got going on in your life, you can learn something for sure.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, I'm really just. I think my focus right now is really uh, creating a platform for universities for college kids to compete at with
mm,
breaking and not just go to an open event like freestyle session. I mean, that's great. That's great, right? But I want something for the college kids to be like, okay, this is for us. We ain't got to worry about Victor smoking us in the first round. I mean,
or the collegiate
yeah,
keep in mind like that collegiate circuit might be looking way different in the future too because
absolutely.
imagine I think that we can all imagine a point in time where you've got the brackets just like you see in like little league softball, or
Exactly.
little league football, right? Where like, and because we see it happening already, it's just not necessarily part of that academic, journey per se, where you've got it,
Right,
um,
right.
in middle schools, high schools, et cetera. But you know that I mean, obviously, like we see some kids, young kids, we've always seen young kids like just coming up and tearing it up, so I do think
Absolutely.
that that's happening. And PS, like as I can also envision you like not only just like thinking about how to build the competitors up, but like one of the things I think we've always talked about is developing the tracks for people to learn again, like beyond just the competition, beyond just the performance aspect of it. What are the career options that also can start to flourish from this, right? Like how many
Right.
universities are there in this country, that arguably could potentially have, you know, a breaking class there, right? And there's
Exactly.
only one of you, and you're not going to be flying all over the world. And there's lots of people that can eventually like step into those roles as we see breaking continue to move forward. So that being said, I've got one last question for you. What would you hope your life legacy will be?
Life legacy.
Life legacy.
Life legacy. Just I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that. I just want people to remember that you could do anything you put your mind to. I know that sounds cliche, sounds like a script from a movie, but it's true. I mean, once you write down what you want to achieve and you figure out a process to achieve that, it could be done. I don't know how you want to create that process, or maybe you can, take a look at somebody that one of your inspirations and see what they done, see what I've done. I don't know. You pick and choose, right? But everything can be done. I just want to tell everybody not to wait, not
Mm,
to wait for the phone to ring, not to wait for an email, not to wait for a message.
mm,
Create, create that energy yourself. And then along the way, people will be like, hey, I know how to do this. I think I could help you with this. Because that used to be me. I used to want to do everything by myself because I was okay with it. But along the way, I realized, you know what? I do know somebody who can design this way better than me and give it that energy it needs, or the design that the look that it needs. I don't have to, you know. And plus, it makes things less overwhelming as a creator, as an organizer, as a producer. So, um, I don't know. My legacy. I like coffee crumb cakes. I like funnel cake. I'm stubborn. I was a big fan of WrestleMania 3. I might buy a Game Boy because I'm stuck in the 80s right now. I don't
Sure.
even know how to answer that.
Sure. All right. Well, I'll try to summarize it for you, my friend. I will summarize it as if you've got a dream, build a plan and go for it. Take baby steps, however small. Those baby steps add up. Be willing to take a leap when the opportunity strikes. Um, Embrace the lessons, embrace the learning. Like there's the taking the L's is taking the learnings.
Ooh.
And
Oh, wait. I gotta write. Let me write that. He said, taking the L's is what? What you say?
is getting the learnings, taking the learnings. Yeah.
Taking the learnings.
Yeah.
Dang, that's tough.
Or see,
Appreciate that.
I got you.
Woo.
And then yeah, and like PS, have fun.
That's
Like
it.
have fun in life, right? If you just spend all your time pursuing a dream and you don't remember to enjoy the good things in life, whether that's good company, good food, being present in the moment, being present in this one moment in time that we get to be alive.
Right.
There's no point to that dream. The point to living your dream is actually the point to living a fulfilled life. So don't
That's
miss out.
I love that. And one thing I love to add, what I'm realizing is not to take things so seriously.
Yeah.
As crazy as that seems, right? You want to be serious and you want to execute and you want to achieve these goals you set for yourself. But at the same time, what I'm realizing is I need to chill.
Hmm.
I need to laugh more. I need to laugh at my mistakes more. I need to laugh at myself more and not be so hip hop and b-boy about and just be like, dude, that shit was funny. Like the mixes that I sent to Art Son, I'm like, damn, I do hear all that trouble in the back. I don't know how I missed that. It's funny to say, but it's really not that serious.
Hmm.
As long as you execute, as long as you know, like, okay, this is the plan, we got the plan. But dude, have fun along the way, just like you said.
All right. Well, all right, Wick, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you for this time. So again, thanks to everyone that tuned in for today's episode. And, we'll be coming back with more interviews all month in May. So peace. Thank you so much.